Come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, For the first time today, I felt really bad for Bishop for the first time today, and we will talk about it. Season 3, episode 6, I believe it is. And as I said, for the first time, I actually had to stop and pull myself back and say, wow, like I was looking at Bishop. And I've been so angry with Bishop this whole time because I just felt like telling lies and being shifty have actually kind of brought him to the point where he is. And was I really being fair? I really haven't been fair to Bishop because literally telling lies and being shifty is why May is where she's at. They have both done wrong. And I have a tendency to side with females. That's just a Jamesism. And I'm easier on females than I am on males, especially when it comes to this type of thing, when it's matters of the heart. I can be biased. I'm flat out. I'm not going to even lie to you. I mean, and it's this show is done so well and it's acted so well that literally whenever Bishop was on Sister Circle for his interview, it's like, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Get your ass out of here. You know what I mean? It was that whole thing, you know? Same thing as like when Uncle Mac was around and Uncle Mac and Merle Dandridge, well, Gigi, Merle Dandridge, they came onto the Sister Circle for the interview. I had to pull myself back because I was like, oh, Uncle Mac. You know what I mean? But these actors and actresses are doing a stellar job. Everybody, the kids, everybody is just excellent on the show. But anyway, I had to pull back. I had to give Bishop a little space. Bishop really does not like being in the position that he's in now. I think Bishop has actually learned the lesson. I think he definitely is sitting in regret at this point. Shit has gotten out of his control, and he's not used to that. He's used to arguments and things, but never being this out of control. He has no control on anything. Nobody's listening to Bishop. Nobody gives a shit what Bishop is saying, and I mean down to the damn grandkids. Don't nobody give a shit, you know. And when he yelled out, "I am still the head of this family," I said. And then the reality set in, and May said, "You aren't the head of anything but your silly little self." I said, oh my God. And he just stood there. And I think you're really not. You're not the head of anything. You don't have nothing but your hat, your coat, and your ass, and the damn IRS owns the coat. So I was like, damn, Bishop, bad place to be. Okay, I gotta get off my soapbox, but bam it. Let's get started with what's at hand for the show. First things first. Isaiah shows up, and I really don't like that little boy. Isaiah shows up to pick up Zora, and there's a whole blowout out front, and everybody wants to whoop Isaiah's ass. I mean, down to Charity. It's like, ooh, let me at him. You know, and the only person who really had a level head was Carissa. Carissa was like, the yelling and the screaming is not working, you all. Back off. Back off. She eventually, you know, she tells May and Jacob, she's like, after Zora leaves and all that, she tells Man, they're just trying to take over and do what they do. We're going to make some phone calls. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. She's like, y'all are all going to back off. I'm going to handle this. Jacob, you're not good at none of this because last time they damn near put you in jail and you back on the shits again. So we're not doing that. And May, if you hadn't done things the way that you did them, then maybe we wouldn't be here. You were too hard. You were too stern. You were too strict. And it was my fault. I allowed you to do it. And look at the turnout. This don't work. Tasha steady texting Jacob. I said, it's going to be a problem. But whatever. And they continued on and they kept talking to Carissa like she didn't matter and what she was saying. They keep talking to Carissa like Carissa is not Zora's mother, okay? And baby Carissa turned around there and told me, you let me tell you something. I will not let my daughter end up like Faith. Do you understand? I said, woo! Hattie and Mason, why would you say something like that? Because bitch, you need to back off. Now that was baby, she cut her. She cut her in the Achilles tendon, honey. Shoot, honey. But back off. Back off. It was a mess. A whole mess. So she said, I'm going to go over to the boys' house and maybe we'll head them off there. Maybe they'll go there at some point. And May says, I'm going to go with you. She said, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And she said, some girls, some they get away. Some get away, but I won't let it happen to Zora. I won't. I just will not let that happen. It is what it is. So she went on out there. She went to the house, and eventually they kind of staked it out. And after a while, Zora and Isaiah pull up, and he runs in the house. And Carissa told May, "You stay here. You stay here. You just here for moral support, I guess. Sit your ass here." She went up to the car. She talked to Zora. Zora was just nasty to her mother. And what do you want? Get out of here. You got 1 minute. That's the last thing I need. And then just the shit that comes out of her mouth lets you know she knows the danger she's in. She's an idiot. The last thing I need is him to come out and see you out here. What you scared of, baby? He your man. He the shit, right? What you scared of? You can do whatever you want. You big and bad with us, but you can't do what you want with him? Really, ma'am? I said, girl, you know you in danger, girl. You stupid. But she talked bad to Carissa and shooed Carissa away. And Carissa told her, listen, let me tell you something. Zora, this is your last chance. This is it. I'm not coming. No more. It is what it is. If you don't get out of the car and come and leave with me today, I'm going to walk away. And then it's going to be all between you, him, God, and your bad decisions. She said, and trust me, whenever it comes to between you and God, he's going to win. And he is not like me. He is tougher than me. Trust me. And she told her, well, I'll take my chances. So, I hope he don't kill you. I hope he doesn't kill you, but I have a real feeling he's gonna fuck you up real good. But okay, because that's what's gonna take. He's either gonna fuck you up real good or have to kill you before you actually get it. But hey, it is what it is. Carissa's right. She can't live it for you, and ain't no need her running her blood pressure up. She got a whole nother baby she got to raise. She ain't got time for your bullshit. Going on. So that's that. Now down at the church, down at Triumph, you got Jacob and Tasha end up getting into it because he ends up telling her, okay, back off. What happened, the kiss and everything between you and I was a mistake. Should not have happened. And we can't do all this. So they're going back and forth. And Tasha get to crying and this, that, and the other. But I like you. I understand that. But I'm married. You're married. You're not getting this ding dong. It is what it is. She gets going on and going on. The next thing you know, the bishop ends up coming in. And the bishop was like, oh. And He's like, oh no, Tasha, Tasha just lost a friend. I was just talking to her and everything, whatever. And Bishop was like, okay, they go on. Tasha's like, all right, well y'all go ahead. They were in Tasha's office. Get on out of there. Bishop then clocked it. He was like, this is some bullshit. Something going on. You probably sticking your dick in her because you knew you wayward dick. And I'm laughing at Bishop because Bishop always stands in judgment of Jacob. But Jacob is just like you. You had a wayward dick too. Yours was so wayward you stuck it in her and your wife's sister. But you sitting around judging him. Shut up, Bishop. Shut up. But he clocked it. He knew. He knew because see, wayward dick know what other wayward dick look like. Mess. But anyway, so Tasha decided she was going to quit. Next time Jacob sees her, he goes back. He apologized to her and everything about hollering at her and all that. She's like, yeah, okay, well, being here ain't good for me. I should have left when Macy left. And I liked you. That's why I stayed. But now I like you even more, and it's on some other shit, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go. And he's like, you ain't got to quit. I want you here. She's like, I want me here too, but I can't have you like I want you. I'm out. It's like, okay, which it was perfect timing from the dirty shit she did. She needed to get out of Dodge before he choked her tongue out. She says, well, just know this, Jacob, I'm sorry. He said, sorry for what? She said, I'm sorry for everything. And she went on out the door. I said, baby, you don't even know the half of it. You don't even know the half of it. So that's that whole thing. Then we actually see Charity over at Percy. She's been doing some work for Percy. And Percy was looking at Percy. I kept saying, wait a minute, Percy. I'm looking at you looking at Charity. Percy, you better tell me that you ain't getting sweet on Charity because James, Bishop James, will kill your shit. And he's like, he ends up talking to her later on and tells her, you know what, you're natural for this whole business of undertaking and dealing with people who are going through grief. And all they told her, it's something you can't teach. You either have it or you don't. And he said, and I've never run into anybody thus far that I thought would actually be able to take over my business. I'm not going to be here very much longer. And I need somebody that can work underneath me that will be able to take over my business. I have a good business that will take over my business. Charity's all like, no, that's not me. And he's like, yeah. She's like, she said, well, I'm not strong enough. He said, you don't know how strong you are. And I think some of what Percy was saying was getting to her. And I said, wow, I think we just found what Charity's niche actually is. And it ain't preaching. It's actually grief counseling, basically, and running an undertaker. You could sing. All this, everything she does could work right into that business. So, yeah. So I was like, all right, Charity. And she told him, it feels good to have done some work that someone appreciates and someone sees that what you do matters. I said, girl, that might be your calling. So that was that. I said, shame on me, honey, thinking that Percy would have slatted to her. She is very pretty, though. She's very pretty, and Charity definitely has a look that would be, Charity has a look, and the way she carries herself would be very much the light up of an older man, such as Percy. Yeah, she's not young girl gettish, and she's not overly pretty to where it looks like, oh, you've been hanging down to the, down to the jungle gym kind of situation. Meanwhile, you still got you a young, pretty thing. Charity would fit that bill perfect. She really would. And then she's just goofy enough for you to really get over on a little bit. Yeah, make her cry. Yep. But okay, shame on me. I was wrong. Sorry, Percy. But anyway, I didn't trust you. So Rochelle and Gigi, they still going back and forth. They dealing with this woman. And Gigi called in a favor down at, the Children Youth Services to be able to get the lady to be able to see her kids and all that. The DA had done slid in there and seen Gigi and threatened Gigi. I mean, just straight up threatened Gigi about this, that, thing, the other. I told you to stay out of it. You didn't. So I could actually see your case being pulled back up and you being back on trial. this, that, and the other. And so I don't know whether you really was self-defense or not. This, that. I said, oh, he's really grimy. But I said, what you don't know, though, I don't think you want to play with Gigi like that, Mr. Grimy. You go play with Gigi like that, you might be next. You'll be Mac number 2. Now keep on playing. Keep on playing. But I didn't like that at all. Yeah, Gigi, I think you just think that women should be able to do whatever they want and just kill men. Yeah, well, whatever. Don't be number 2, okay? Playing these games you playing. But anyway, he did all that and sold his wolf tickets and all that. Then there was a conversation between Gigi and Rochelle, and Rochelle's like, all that I've done, the money that I've spent, and all of that, and you still don't trust me. She said, well, who are you? You know, she was going on and telling her how she was a foster child basically, and she, is going to do what she does to make sure that people get what they're supposed to get. And Gigi said, that sounds a lot like revenge. She said, well, I don't know. Maybe the DA was right with what he said about you. I said, oh, don't you be number 3, bitch. So it was like a whole little mess going on. And I'm like, no, you should be paying real close attention because Gigi's on to something. She just don't know what she's on to. But she always has been. Last thing we see Sophia. Sophia gets a little book from her boyfriend. And it has pictures of him and her, and it's all he misses her and all that. She waited up for Gigi and seen Gigi and told Gigi, I don't want to go to college. You know, the college that he's actually going to is Christian college. So I don't want to go to that college. I don't want to go to any Christian college. She actually went through the whole thing of Zora didn't go to college. Zora turned 18 and went on about her business. I'll be 18 soon. She said, and you're not Zora. I said, yeah, your ass will be whooped, Sophia. So don't start trying to talk crazy to your mother. You know your mother throws people through tables and things, honey, and bangs them on the walls. You better watch. You better watch, honey. A mess with her little self. I said that was the last thing. It wasn't. The last argument was really between Bishop and May. Child, when he had to actually get buzzed in because he didn't have none of his codes work, he was so mad to get into the house. Got up there, got talking to her. Because him and Bishop and Jacob, when he went to see him, they had gotten into it, and that's when Jacob was like, "I don't need strings pulled. I don't need you pushing and pulling. I don't need you doing nothing." And he said, "I don't care what you say. Since your attitude is bad," said that Carissa was right to just cut you out. Said, but let me tell you something. No matter what goes on between me and your mother, that little girl is still my granddaughter, and you are still my son, and you remember that. I said, I'm still your father. I said, nobody's paying you any attention, Bishop. Poor thing. So Bishop was all mad, and he left one out of there. That when May and Bishop got into it, baby, she told him, I told y'all earlier when she told him, you ain't in the head of nothing but your silly little self, mister. Then told him, and you're the head of that pile of soggy cornbread and saggy pantyhose. Talk about Rochelle. I said, oh, May, mess. Told him to get on out. She wasn't thinking about him, and oh well, I'm so sorry your ego was bruised because no one came to you to consult you. Nobody cares. Go away. And told him, if you're looking for a friend, look to Jesus. I said, oh, May is a mess. Just as mean as she could be. But the very last thing we saw in the episode was Bishop sitting out there in Percy and told him, something about basically keep his head up and all of that. And all is not lost. And he was just looking so sad. I felt kind of bad for Bishop. I said, damn, Bishop. Yeah, he don't like that position he's in. Where I bet that does feel terrible because he's kind of like he's nothing to no one at this point. That's kind of ugly. That's kind of hard when you have been the head of a family for so long and now everybody's like, who? What? Go away. It's pretty bad. But this is good. We're getting close to the end of the season, unfortunately. But keep watching. And I'll catch you guys next week. Later.